Let's discuss diagnosis according to 6 stages. Overview Part 2. In the 3 young stages, it is the young organs and channels that are affected. The symptoms and signs generally reflect that is an excess condition. The 3 yin stages are more deficient in nature because in the preliminary stages, Sheng Qi is relatively strong, and this will result in more powerful symptoms due to the struggle between a strong Sheng Qi and the pathogenic Qi. When pathogenic Qi penetrates to the yin stages, Sheng Qi will have become weakened and is no longer able to withstand the pathogenic Qi. It is important to keep in mind that even though the interior deficient patterns in the 6 stages are ostensibly the same as some patterns of diagnosis, such as spleen yang deficient, for example, the disorder in the 6 stages has primarily arisen due to an invasion of exogenous pathogenic Qi and not necessarily due to a diet and lifestyle. They may well be involved, but they are not the primary reason for the imbalance. Next, the Taiyang stage. This is the most superficial aspect of the 6 stages, and the invasion at this stage is relatively superficial. There are 4 main patterns that can be differentiated at this stage. 2 of them are channel level imbalances and are therefore pure exterior imbalances, but there are also 2 full organ imbalances, where the exogenous pathogenic Qi has penetrated into the interior. In one of these imbalances, there will still be a clear signs that the pathogenic Qi is present in the exterior aspect. The 2 channel level imbalances are the Taiyang patterns, most often seen in the clinic and in everyday life. Sang Song Jing distinguished between an invasion of wind cold in the Taiyang aspect, where cold is the dominant pathogenic Qi, and an invasion of wind cold where wind is dominant. The difference between the 2 situations is essentially that in the first scenario, it is a pure excess condition, whereas when wind is dominant, there is a deficient and excess condition. The key symptoms that characterize the Taiyang stage are a superficial pulse, headache, and stiffness in the neck and shoulder, and aversion to wind and cold. The Taiyang channel helps to govern and control Wei Qi, as well as the protecting the body against exogenous pathogenic Qi, warms the skin and controls the sweat pores. This has a significant implication for how many of the symptoms manifest themselves. In the Taiyang stage, exogenous pathogenic Qi has invaded the body by penetrating the Wei Qi. It is usually wind and cold that have invaded the body. Cold by itself can have difficulty penetrating through the Wei Qi. This is because the cold has a yin contracting dynamic, and this will cause the pores in the skin to close. Wind, though, has a yang and very scattering dynamic. Wind can therefore scatter Wei Qi and open the pores. Wind is therefore termed the spearhead that leads other forms of pathogenic Qi into the body. Exogenous pathogenic Qi can succeed in overcoming and breaking through the body's Wei Qi in 3 ways. If Wei Qi is very powerful, it will not require long-term exposure to the pathogenic Qi before it can invade the body. This could, for example, be when a person has fallen through the ice and has been strongly chilled by the cold water. Although it is only a short-term exposure to the cold is so powerful that it will be able to pierce through the Wei Qi even in a person whose Wei Qi is strong and powerful. Exogenous pathogenic Qi can also penetrate the Wei Qi if there is a prolonged exposure to the pathogenic Qi. In this case, Wei Qi does not need to be as intense as in the first case, but because there is a continued and persistent influence, the pathogenic Qi will over time break through. An example of this could be a person who has cycled home in the rain and sleep and been thoroughly drenched and cooled down. If they cycle 2 kilometers and when changed into dry clothes afterwards, they would not become ill. If, on the other hand, they cycle 15 kilometers and will not have the opportunity to change into dry clothes afterwards, they may well catch a cold. The final scenario where pathogenic qi can invade the Taiyang stage is when Wei qi is deficient. This will typically be a person whose qi is deficient. This could be an elderly person, a very small child, a person who has just been ill, or a person who is physically run down. In this situation, the pathogenic qi does not need to be very strong for it to be able to overcome the Wei qi. The Wei qi is simply too weak to protect the body. If a person with a strong Wei qi goes for a walk for 15 minutes without a jacket on in the winter, their Wei qi is strong enough to withstand the cold. But if a person who is very qi deficient did the same, they may well catch a cold or fall ill. This is why elderly people have to wear more clothes than young people and are generally more sensitive to draughts and open windows. Even if a person has a strong Wei qi, pathogenic qi can easily invade the body if the person sweats while they are exposed to wind and cold. This is because the pores will be open, which allows exogenous pathogenic qi to enter. This is why it is very important that people cover themselves with warm clothes after they have, for example, been running or done other forms of physical activity that have caused them to sweat. It is also the reason people catch colds when there is air conditioning. Thank you for your attention.